we'd like to open our June 20th meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. First item is our acceptance of our prior meeting minutes dated June 5th, 2023. We need a motion and a second to adopt those.
I'll make the motion.
And a second? I'll take it. All in favor? Aye. Any correspondence from Liz, please?
I have the Orange County DPW agreement for snow and ice control on certain county roads for the 2023-2024 season, as well as the mortgage tax receipts, Orange County mortgage tax receipts for May, as well as lastly, the supervisor's report.
All right, thank you, Liz. We're going to move on to our committee reports from our board members, please. We'll start with Jim.
Okay. Couple things. Village meeting, next one will be July 7th, and they will be holding a public hearing at 7 p.m., right?
Right.
And, what else did I say? I supplied the board with 3 quotes for the wiring job, hopefully for the addition to the town hall and the current town hall. Quote 1, you'll see 2 pages. 1 page is for the wiring, and second page 2 is for the hardware. Consider the hardware as like the wall with the rack, the patch panel, stuff like that. I subtracted on quote 2. He gave us a power supply, and a couple on charge, and put on there quote patch cables. The other 2 quotes did not supply that, so I subtract that from the quotes, and that was $939. Added, so on second quote 2, should be $1,405, and the total for the 2 pages will be $8,989. Quote 2 is $8,960. Chris met with this company, and he walked the building with them, and he can, if he has any questions about that company. I did the third company, which was $10,300.10. So, I know we purchased Ring Central phones that we are not using still over a year, and this would actually help start using those phones, and because I know we're paying for those phones right now still. And we should get updated, because the wiring it's terrible here, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, try to trace the wires, like where can you look for it? Just be centralized, we go into a patch panel, problem with that, we fix it. It's up to the board is what they want to do, but my recommendation would be to go with quote 2. It's $8,960, and that would hopefully eliminate a lot of our issues we have here.
And that includes the rack.
That includes the rack, yes. The only thing it doesn't include, which I subtracted from the quote 1, was the power for the rack and the patch cables, which we can look online and purchase that ourselves. And then the last thing I had was discussion regarding the temp test and fireworks for the fair. We decided to do it on the 26th if it gets approved. We will send out a letter to residents, and we will post on Facebook after tonight's meeting. Before, we want to wait and see if it got approved before we made that announcement.
So it'll be the 26th.
26th at 9 p.m. the firework company. And he's asking if we can do 1 to 2 at the most. 2 at the most. It would be 2, because he wants to. They want to see that the first location that they have on the plans will work. If not, they're going to move it a little ahead. But they wanted to see what the board was okay with that. And that's all I have at this time.
So,
Yes. Any questions?
so it's going to be just a single shot, right?
Single shot.
So we should approve 2 shots in case they do have.
Yeah, 2 at the most. That's all he's going to do, 2 shots.
Okay. And
Yes.
they'll send letters out, right?
Yes. We'll send letters out that, especially, we actually certify some of them to make sure they get them.
Okay.
And the required documents we discussed at the last meeting, Jim, had come through from the fireworks operator, that, you know, the
Yes, that's what
licensing, all the documents that were pending have been received, so.
That's why we're also waiting on that. We didn't want to send letters out and it wasn't going to be approved.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Anything else? That's all I have.
And we'll move on to Chris.
I have a few things. First of all, I want to apologize to everybody I couldn't be here the last board meeting, and Mike at your award ceremony. I had an emergency, so I think that's the second meeting I've ever missed in 5 years. So I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. Summer rec, we had hired directors. We had a great turnout for counselors. We advertised with the school by sending flyers. I think we sent almost 1,800 flyers out with students. We advertised online as much as we could. I really don't know what more we could have done. However, because of very low enrollment, we decided that summer rec will not happen. It's not, and I want to thank the board because we all worked on this together and tried to make it happen. And we haven't given up. I think we're still talking about trying it for next year.
Starting January 1st.
Early. So, so that's that. But everybody's been contacted as far as refunds. I know Liz has been helping me with that, and Angie. There's a few already have gotten refunded. A few people just need to pick up their checks. So, apologize to anybody that did, but we tried. I don't know what more we could do. We can't bring kids in to sign up. So, everybody that did sign up, thank you, and we'll try it again next year. Menacing Valley Youth Football, their signups are online right now, so if you want your kid to play football or be in cheer, if you look on their Facebook or go to their webpage, you can sign up for them. They're still having flag football, I believe, on Saturdays from 3 to 6. DMV bus, that came, I was fortunate enough to be here that morning. Liz and Kathleen were here, and Dean, and they were very easy coming in to set up. We had probably, I'm gonna say 10 or 12 people waiting when we first got here. I'm not sure of the exact numbers that they had, but I think, I'm not sure if we were as successful as they were over in the village, but I do know that one thing was the cell service was excellent for them. And everybody that was here seemed to enjoy it, so that was much easier. So I think they're coming back in July. Am I right, Brian?
21st.
July 21st, so we'll advertise that. I know Brian's already got it put up, I think, but we'll advertise that. Great thing. I think it's good for the community, so. Dragon Boat Festival, got to go to that over the weekend. It was a great turnout. I think they had pretty good success. Are you gonna talk about what happened there?
Yes. Yep.
So Matt is gonna announce something that was pretty good that happened there, between the village and the town. Town hall expansion, seems that that's coming along good. I see, Dean, they had put the windows in and the AC and heats in, so.
It's in, just waiting for electric and gas, and then we'll call it back and start it up.
Looking good, thank you. Cat lines, we're gonna vote on that tonight. That was one of the things that, while we're doing that, those cat lines will run to all the offices, including here, and that will upgrade everybody to the newest and greatest. When I walked through with one contractor, we maybe have done some rooms that we're not sure what we're gonna use them for, but at least it'll always be there so that later on, if we wanna add an office or whatever, we can. The gym, I realized over the weekend, somebody had texted me that the treadmills are broken. I went up and checked on them over the weekend when I just had a chance. Didn't look into it too much, but the motors aren't driving. So I'm not sure if it's just like a belt or something, or.
The motors are not acting correctly, they're fault, they're failing.
Okay.
I got a call from a young lady that was on it, and it took her off full speed, and she went flying.
Okay.
That was the first one, and then the second one just quit altogether.
Okay.
they're out of warranty. I had Chris work on it, check it out. So I don't know where you wanna go with them.
You know how much it is to replace the motor?
I don't.
I'm wondering too, maybe if, like, I can look and see, but I know we've had them, what, 3, 4 years? And I'll tell you,
Yeah,
any
time
piece
frame,
of
correct.
equipment in there, probably that gets used the most. So, maybe it's just time to move on, I don't know. But I'll look into it, and I'll get with Dean, and we'll figure out something.
I can give you the manual, it's got the company's phone numbers and stuff. You can
Okay.
probably get somebody to give you a price on it.
Okay, I did find a company that comes and works on it, but.
They've come and done the warranty work in the past.
Oh, okay, what do you, yeah,
You know, we just had a screen or something. put in
Okay.
One of them.
Yeah.
But that was like an 8-month ordeal before we got the right
I
screen.
remember. Okay,
And of course, now they're out of warranty.
sure. Par for the course. All right, so I'll look into that with Dean. Hidden Valley, everything's going well over there so far. I'm going to work on getting some quotes for redoing some of the manholes. I don't think we're gonna be able to do them all, but I would like to see, Matt and I had talked about maybe getting sections of it done. So, we're gonna probably put that together so we can send out a bid for that. Over at the rec center, also the youth center, I noticed too that Dean, I just remembered the AC is not working in the kitchen. For some reason. I couldn't get it to come on, so I don't know. There's the
I'll
ping
call
pong.
them again.
What's that?
I'll say I'll call them again, let's start with that.
Okay. The ping pong tables, I noticed the ping pong paddles really bad, so I'm just gonna order something.
Do
Okay?
we not have extra in the storage closet?
I looked, I didn't see them, but I'll look again. I gotta go there tomorrow night.
We may have used them, but I remember at one point we did
There
have
was a
extra.
spare set.
And honestly-
Package of the ping pong balls as well.
I looked, because they have the rubber to replace on there, it's just as much for them as it is to buy. So, hey, it's getting used, so that's good. And the last thing, I'm sorry for being long, the last thing is, the summer concert series starts on Tuesday, July 4th. The first group will be Soul City, and that starts at 7 o'clock at the Pavilion. That's on a Tuesday night, so.
Start on a holiday.
Yeah. So, and that's all I have. Sorry for being a little long-winded.
Thank you, Chris. And Amanda?
I have a correction of an announcement that I made at the last meeting. I incorrectly stated that the planning board meeting was for the 14th. I was incorrect. It is for the 21st, tomorrow. I don't have much to report, but I would like the rest of the board to have a discussion and make a decision by the next meeting to fill our vacant spot. And also in regards to the email that we all received from the highway supervisor in regards to Juneteenth.
Okay.
These offices were closed, but the highway department was not. Do we feel that's suitable?
The, couple of the offices that have set their own hours had closed, and that was talks amongst the other departments and other part-time employees weren't gonna come in, which left one office that was gonna be here, so they, I had said to that office they were gonna be the only ones here to not come in as well. This way it wasn't a mismatch in the town hall as to who was coming and not coming.
And are we going to compensate our highway employees for working?
That we would have to address within their contract. For you mean the members, the 8?
I just, if
Members,
our offices are closed, but our highway department is open, when I saw the note on the door, I thought it was for the entire town, meaning for the offices in the highway department.
The police also worked on Monday, correct, Mike?
Yeah.
So I feel if we're going to have one part of our town closed, it should either be all or none.
Really, you need to decide, is Juneteenth gonna be a holiday or not? Right now, it's not.
Correct, it's not in the
Gotta be
employee
added.
handbook.
It's not a holiday, but you have 3 offices are closed for a holiday. There should be some disciplinary action, some steps taken to stop that from happening again.
David, that's something I can get a little more detail on with you in terms of the action the board could take and,
Absolutely.
you know, procedure for next year as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anything else, man? Okay. Like Chris said, the Dragon Boat Festival that was at the park over the weekend was well. The group that put that on, a group of volunteers, as well as the majority of the volunteers from the Mount Hope Chinese Association, they've been working with the village and the town. Mayor and myself have met with a couple of organizers that are looking to put together a community, Asian Advisory Community Committee. This way, anybody within their community that has any questions, concerns, anything they want information-wise, for new residents to the area, they would have someone from that committee be able to contact someone from the town, the village, the respective entity where their fellow neighbors live and looking to get some information. So that was a big announcement, what Chris is saying, that we are going to, you know, be working with the community, the growing Asian population here in town to, you know, assist them with any information or any direction of what they may need for new residents moving to the area. So that was a big announcement they were happy to put out on Sunday, and happy to work with our neighbors in the community to keep everybody informed and, you know, educated as they come into the community, what we can help them with. So that's, we'll move on to the highway report from Dean.
I stuck an ad on Facebook for summer help. Last year, we weren't able to find anybody. I did receive 6 applicants through that ad. I had 2 of them prior. I met with the ones I could get in touch with. Some of them, they give a phone number and there's no answer and no voicemail to leave, so. The ones that I decided on is Drew Jazabowski, lives in Howells, 16 years old, so he can only work an 8-hour day. Does have his school working papers. And the other one is an Ethan Avilar, lives up here on State Street, just up the hill from us. He actually walked down for his interview, and again, he's 16 years old. They'll both be working 8-hour days, Monday through Thursday. I think they're gonna both work 6 to 2:30, because Drew is actually a neighbor of one of my employees, so he's gonna ride in with him and to get a ride home. I'll give the applications to Angie tomorrow, and the rest of the paperwork I'll have filled out when they start. Ethan is gonna work, they're both working 7-week periods. Ethan starting July 10th, ending on Thursday, August 24th. Drew has a 2-week summer vacation in the middle of that time frame, so he's gonna start on June 26th. He's out of school by then, and he's gonna end on August 24th also. Strictly, they're gonna be doing landscaping and mowing at the parks and other properties. If you approve them, that's who we got lined up.
seasonal park employees.
Dean, when do you think your pole barn over there will be completed?
It's hard to say. Yeah. I'd like to say by the end of the summer, but road work came up on paving, blacktopping tomorrow. Tomorrow we're starting on Tall Oaks, and then we're doing Otis Circle, including the section of the village. And then they're moving out to Ledge Road. It should be done by Thursday afternoon, barring the rain on Thursday. Hopefully it's over. Next week we have our oil and chip program starting. They
Good.
should just be Monday and Tuesday. But then we have insulation to do out here yet. We're just trying to do what we can and
It looks good, by the way.
whatever we
And
can.
who will be monitoring the summer help? Would that be Joey or?
I don't know. Joe went for his
CD.
road test today, his CDL road test. I haven't heard whether he passed or not. If he passed, yes, he'll be our full-time employee monitor. If he didn't, it's probably gonna be one of the other guys, most likely Chris.
Hopefully he passed.
But it will be somebody full-time from the department with them.
Yeah,
so-
it'll be one of the guys. They won't be down there by themselves.
Thank you.
So we'll need a motion to approve the hire for a seasonal part-time employee in the parks under Dean's department for a 7-week term. Drew Jazabowski, 6/26 to 8/24. And also for Ethan Bavalar, 7 weeks, starting 7/10 through 8/24. So we need a motion and a second to approve the 2 hires as stated.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And move on to our police report for Mike, please.
Too much tonight, other than to advise that the Highland Bridge is gonna be closing for the repair soon. They have it as July 3rd as the date, and they're saying it's gonna be approximately 300 days to do it. So almost a full year, is the approximate. Other than that, I don't have anything else, unless you have any questions.
Anything from Mike?
No.
Thank you, Mike. And a village report from Bob, please.
Thank you. Pressure's on. The boss is here. Sorry I missed the last meeting. I was tied up at a doctor's office and didn't get back in time. As the chief just said, the bridge is gonna, they pushed these, originally they were gonna start in June. They pushed it back to July now. What we're hoping too is when they make that little short shoot there between Highland and Kelly Hill, that we're able to keep that after the bridge is made as a one-way from Highland down, as a shortcut down to the train, the dollar store, and the storage units down there. So the mayor is working on that. The village board thinks that's a good idea. We're looking forward to another summer of music. The village is very supportive of that series. We'd like to even talk to you next year about possibly bringing some of them down to the village park and try that out and see if that brings a different type of crowd or anything. Very sorry to hear the rec program is a no-go this year, but I'm glad to see that you're gonna try it again next year. The village is very supportive of that program. Anything we can do to help out, we'd be certainly happy to help. The only other thing, on Saturday, July 22nd, the village will be having a dedication ceremony at the pavilion at Veterans Memorial Park in honor of Lou Maurizio, our former mayor. We'll be naming the pavilion after him, and have a little event there, and more information to follow as we get closer to the event. That's all.
All right, thank you, Bob.
What was the time of that? I know it was 22nd, what time? 10 a.m.
I don't think we have a solid time yet, do we?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
It's rented, that's why.
Thank you, Bob. All right, we'll move on to our new business. Liz had mentioned, have the May supervisors report. We need a motion and a second to approve that, please.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also, we had, came over on Friday, was the upcoming winter season, 2023, 2024 snow and ice contract with Orange County. Same contract that we've adopted in the past, the addition of a $150 increase on that same road schedule that Dean's guys have taken care of in the past for the county. So need a motion and a second to approve the Orange County snow and ice contract and authorization for myself to sign that with the county.
Make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, need authorization to pay our bills for abstracts numbers 23 and 24.
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The fireworks test launch request regarding the county fair, like Jim had mentioned, we do have the documentation. Jim gave us the date, Monday the 26th, 9 p.m. start time at the park. The only request I would have is if there is any change to the diagram or the location, once they do the testing, if we can get an updated diagram if needed.
Yes, that's what the fireworks company wants to do, make sure it's proper.
Yep. So we need a motion and a second to allow the fireworks to have 2 test fireworks sent off on Monday, June 26th, approximately 9 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
When you said the
As long
paperwork,
as-
did you mean the insurance?
Part of the firework application process is a diagram
Okay.
of the display, where the fireworks are set up, and then it gives the distances based on each size of the firework, how far it is from the crowd, parked cars, things of that nature.
Sure. I would just make it also conditioned upon the appropriate insurance for that as well.
Yep, we do have that.
Okay,
That
good.
was one of the first
Just wanna
documents
make
that came in, so.
I'm sorry, and I'm gonna make the motion for it, but, and this is, we are gonna send out letters certified to these people around, right?
Business, yeah. We want to make sure, certain people we definitely do a lot of certified.
So I just wanna make sure, okay, I'll make it the motion.
All right, and second motion? I'll second the motion, and we need a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, Lions Club member.
That motion is carried. Fireworks. Is there any questions or any further discussion with the internet upgrade wiring for the town hall that Jim and Chris had worked on?
The 2 items that you're taking out from Night Watch.
They're
them-
patch cables.
Yeah, you stated they're not in the other ones.
Correct. The,
I'm not familiar with any wiring or anything.
basically the
So I
patch-
just want a description, an
the-
explanation of why they're not on the other ones.
basically the patch cables, basically from a PC to the wall jack, that's what that is, those are the patch cables. Like
Okay.
where like when you have a switch, the panel, you plug in one from the panel to the switch where it connects everything.
So do we have a rack mount power supply already?
We don't, but we can purchase that separately. That pipe, trust me, we probably get that a lot cheaper than what these guys are giving it to us for.
So with the cables Amanda asked on, Jim, what we currently have the computers hooked up in, could those be used?
From the PCs, yes, and in the offices that we currently have, yes, you can
Okay.
use those. It's just, most of you would be in the new locations and, where the rack will be for the switches. Like I said, we probably can find these cables a lot cheaper online than what they're gonna charge us. I guarantee you, a lot cheaper.
Just keep in mind, we do have a Amazon business account.
I'll probably would look on Amazon too.
Yeah.
But that's why I subtracted those from the bid number 1. Wanted to be fair.
That was my only question. Thank you.
And, based on the quotes and Jim's recommendation on what he has here, proposal number 2 is from Central Alarm and Telephone Corporation. Total cost $8,960. That would be the that's the company you recommend, correct, Jim?
Yes, and Chris actually worked with these guys on the, and he was very happy with them.
It was these, I didn't know what it was, but they went through and actually showed us some things that we weren't thinking of. And, they do mostly municipalities.
All right, so you need a motion and a second to approve the internet wiring upgrades to Central Alarm and Telephone Corporation for a cost of $8,960. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did you do phone call?
Only other item I have is the update for the employment agreement. Mike Maresca, we have the employment agreement and the insurance agreement addition to be adopted by the board and signed by myself and Mike, pending the clerical errors that Mike had pointed out to us, just some typos to correct. We discussed prior to the meeting, so we need a motion and a second to adopt both agreements pending the clerical updates. So that would be the employment and the insurance agreement.
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only other thing, like Bob had mentioned with the village report for the road closing of Highland Avenue and the bridge construction project, we also received the notification from the Orange County Department of Public Works, so we'll get that put up on the bulletin board as that project is getting nearer to starting, which is, I think, welcomed by all to see that construction take place. At this point, we will move on to our public comments.
I have something. Brian Carey, Village of Otisville. I'd like to have a defensive driving class. Thought about this while I was on this board, and I kind of made a call to DCAT Driving School, so I'd like to initiate it. But I would like to get board approval, which let me tell you what I'm looking to do. I'd like to open this up to all village employees, and then I'd also like to open this up to all town employees. I'm looking at Saturday, September 9th, which I already called to make sure that it wasn't rented that day. And after we open it up to the village and town employees, I wanted to open it up to the general public. Looking to get 40 people in the building. $32 a person is as cheap as I could get it. It is a 6-hour class, and I kind of pushed it to September, just thinking that it might work a little better and have room to advertise it. So I wanted to see if I could at least get permission to have the senior center. Again, this is something that they're gonna pay the driving school for, not any municipality. But if it has to come down to insurance and stuff, then I don't have an issue of saying that the village would like the senior center for the day, because we are gonna follow through with it. The village board does not know of this as of yet, but that's not really gonna change much because I think it's gonna be popular, so.
Right, one question, did we check and see if it was rented that day?
Yes,
Okay.
I already called.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I have my list of dates. Yes.
Just checking, thank
Could
you.
you repeat the date, please, Brian?
September 9th, Saturday.
I think it's a great idea.
And I just have one more thing, let me go. You guys had, I found out today, I asked how many transactions the town of Mount Hope had for the DMV bus that was here. You guys had 27 total. It was good, they consider that good as compared to others, so. Half of what the village had,
I know.
was good. Sorry, I'll take that part back. No, listen, it rained.
It rained,
I
Brian.
know, no, wait, I stopped that later today. Sorry, I had to throw that in. And Matt, you and I got a letter today, or a note from, that you were talking about, from Orange County. just to add to what Mike had said, they're saying that make sure I got the right terminology here, that they're publishing a road closure notice for July 4th. I meet with the construction crew like once a week since they've been talking about this. They're gonna publish that notice, but the reason they're gonna publish that is so nothing kind of stands in their way from closing it. But I would just say, if we're gonna put it out, is once you see, the bypass road obviously has to be, blacktopped. It was already prepped, but it has to be blacktopped. So, once that bypass road is blacktopped, then the traffic lights, well, I'm assuming traffic lights, I don't know that they're bringing, I'm thinking that's what they're gonna bring in. That's when they're gonna close the bridge after that. And the only other thing that I wanted to add to what Dean had said is, this 17-year-old Ethan that you hired, he does live in the house from the person that was hit and killed, on 211. So I know it's early, 6 o'clock in the morning, but as long as he's safe, maybe wear a reflective vest. That's all I got.
Brian, I'm assuming most businesses know that this is gonna happen, right? So should we give them a copy, or are they gonna get a copy from the county?
They're gonna get a copy from, listen,
I know you have been, and I've been talking.
Well, let me
to
just say
people
this,
too,
like,
but-
I have, what I kinda did on my behalf is, there's 2 liaisons on the village board that are responsible for notifying local businesses what's going on, cause obviously, both of our concerns is to make sure no businesses are majorly affected.
Yeah, so if everybody watching at home just heard that, we really wanna make sure that we don't go someplace else where it's only gonna be 1 or 2 turns different than what you are now to go downtown to take care of whatever you need to
And I think what they've kind of done a little bit is, originally this came out for a 10-month project.
do. Yeah,
That has since been backed up a little bit, and Mike, I'll make sure you get copied on these same notices that Matt and I are getting copied on, but they're trying to turn that down to 6 months.
wow,
Like, they wanna get in and get out of here before, obviously, it gets,
Good.
so if you do the math, if you start July, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Just to say, I know originally it was 10 months, I believe their contract is 10 months, but they wanna get in and out before that, obviously, and so.
So it's better to say more and then be done quicker than the opposite.
Well, anything over 10 months, he told me they would obviously have to start doing that, yeah,
Right.
so, yeah. And they don't wanna be here in the winter, trust me, I know they don't, so.
Any questions on the village request for the senior center for the defensive driving class?
no, I don't, are we gonna do that together, kind of thing, or you wanna lead it?
Probably,
Okay,
probably give you guys information on it, yeah, cause
Yeah.
obviously I wanna give it to employees first.
absolutely,
I mean,
thank you for thinking of that.
unfortunately, our insurance, municipal insurance, does not reduce by the employees taking it, but their personal insurance does, cause I already kinda looked into that, but, yes.
And the program you're proposing, the class taker, so if I sign up for a class, I pay direct to the
Correct.
school, not
Correct.
through the municipality.
Correct,
Okay.
not through the municipality. I actually had to give them the dimensions of the senior center because they have to get permission from New York State to do it. So I had already called the building department and I already got all that, I gave it to them. I just wanna throw this date out at them and kinda make it happen, that's all.
So need a motion and a second to allow the village to rent the senior center for September 9th, 2023. Waive the fee for that for the employee, dual municipal employee offering for defensive driving, and then if space allows, open that up for public residents to attend as well. And that fee would be paid directly to the education training school. So need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Mary Beth Arcepa, Village of Otisville. I am still selling through the end of next week. Put my niece Pocatello Lotto calendars, I have some with me. They're $5 a piece. You have up to 22 chances to win money on certain dates. So if you're interested, please see me after the meeting and I will try to accommodate you. Also, because Diane's not here, the seniors have a trip tomorrow morning. We're meeting here at 9:45, the bus will leave at 10, I believe. We're getting home at 6, we'll try to have everybody parked away from the building so that regular business can be conducted.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Do we have any other public comment?
Otisville, with the fireworks. I was wondering, has a second fireworks show been scheduled yet for this summer, or just the one for the fair?
Just the one for the fair. Anybody else for public comment? We'll move on to our board comments, and we'll start with Amanda. All right. Chris?
No comment.
Jim?
Just congratulations to the Menacing Valley seniors, class of 2023.
Graduation's Friday, right?
So I have.
Yeah, the only comment I have, I know Chris mentioned it earlier in the meeting, the board did work very hard to get the summer camp program up and running. With the lack of registering attendees, there's not enough of a attendance to cover the cost of the camp, so it is, with a deep regret that we can't offer it to those students that wanted to come in, but like we all said, next year will be another crack at it to get the kids back to a good summer program. So with that, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Gotta say, Brian, your meetings are being ours now.
I like how I schedule it again.
No, time-wise.